I came back home from deployment to find my wife in bed with another man. You know, being in love is probably one of the most beautiful things in life, but it's also one of the most dangerous things. Life is all about risk, I know that. I joined the Marines as a private. Now I'm a corporal. Busted my ass, but I'm here. I want to stay a Marine for the rest of my life. Or at least I wanted to. I'm in a tough spot. I married my wife 3 years ago. When I married her I was so in love. Everything she did made me smile. How she looked at me, how she smiles, laugh, plays with her hair. I loved it all. Now I don't know if I love this woman at all. I was deployed for 8 months. Now while I was at base, my brothers at base would always tell me women only marry soldiers for benefits. You know, benefit pays healthcare, education, vacations. All that. They say wives get lonely when we get deployed and bring home a friend while I'm here. I didn't listen to any of this. Not all women are like that. Right? Well, I don't know anymore. It's not my place to say every woman is like this now. When I flew home, I had to take a 12-hour flight. I wanted to see my family so bad. A wife and a beautiful princess. Being away from my baby is like getting punched in the stomach a billion times until I see her again. Although, I chatted with her all the time. I go inside thinking they were there. I saw no one home. I sat down waiting for them. Called wife and she didn't pick up. No text, nothing. I went to the kitchen and started hearing some thumps. It's coming from the basement. When I opened the door, I heard a guy moaning. I head down quietly. It benefited me that we have very soft furry-like carpet. And wow! I caught my wife screwing someone I graduated high school with. We weren't best friends or anything, but we did know each other. I couldn't believe this. Now I don't play this crap. I jumped on the bed and beat this man. Not brutally like other guys do. But enough to give him a black eye and a busted lip. He knew she's my wife. He knew I was away. Wife was screaming not to hit him. That she's sorry. Since that moment, my home was at base. This home is nothing but ruined memories. My brothers were right about marriage, about my wife. Never again will I trust my wife, or if I divorce, I want to stay a Marine, which means it'll be a waste of time to marry again. Yes, we are still married. This was not too long ago. I regret staying with her every day. I look at her now, when she smiles at me I just look away, when she hugs me I just look at something else, putting one arm around her. When she tries to kiss me, I turn my head. Our favorite thing was to try out something we've never ate before. We would go to other states just to eat at the highest rated restaurants. We haven't done that since before the day I left for Asia. I'm just not in love anymore. When I talk about divorce she jumps on me saying she's so sorry, showing fake tears. That she will never do that again. That she loves me. She confessed to sleeping with him 3 times. I'm all over the place, I know, so while I was away, the entire time, she only slept with him 3 times? Yeah, okay. I'll be honest, I probably should be nominated for being the most distancing husband. She cries to me saying she misses me, that what she did was a mistake. That she'll do anything for us to be the same as before. We don't argue, but we are more than distant than enemies. She constantly suggests for us to go see a counselor. All they're going to do is tell us to make up. Anything that involves touching her, or making eye contact more than 1 second, I'm not doing it. That's why I'm not going. I wasn't worried about my daughter. She looks so much like me. She has my ears, eye color, and my blonde hair. I don't need no DNA test. And even if she wasn't mine, she's my life. I would never leave her. She's the reason I don't divorce and finish off my marriage. One of my brothers at base didn't rub it in my face. I remember them saying, when you go home and find your wife on your bed with someone else, we're going to say we told you so. But he didn't say that. He said I'm ruining my life with the right person. He said if I don't divorce, I will be miserable when I could find someone great. Yeah, sure. I just want to go back home. But due to this pandemic, it won't happen. I wish everyone a blessing and stay inside safely. My 27 male, wife, 26 female, of 7 years, together for 10, Cheated while I am deployed overseas. Backstory. We met overseas, in Japan, while I was stationed there at the time. She is Brazilian, originally from Brazil. She was 18 years old at the time and had a family visa under her dad. He is Japanese, which turned into a working visa. She started working and she had been in Japan for less than 2 years now. I come along. We start dating. Things get serious. It's my time to leave Japan. We start a fiancé visa together. I left to get stationed stateside. She follows 6 months later with a one-way ticket. We get married within 90 days. We didn't have a big wedding because it was unfair that her family and friends wouldn't be able to be present. Fast forward a few years later, we have our son. He's 4 now. She's almost fluent in English. Our marriage was awesome. Never fought, we never raised our voices, things never got crazy, we were so happily married. Sex was great, everything. Seriously, no flaws, and no other instances in the past, without a doubt 100% trustworthy. Until a few days ago, when my wife broke the news to me, over the phone while I am deployed overseas. I am heartbroken, my brain is mush, and my stomach is in knots. Words can never describe the true feelings this has caused me. It gets worse. So I had suspicions over a month ago. I checked her check card history. I give her an allowance every month for her and our son. I noticed, smoke shop, on some of the transactions. She had a history of smoking MJ in the past, but I just couldn't see her doing it now that she's a 26-year-old responsible mother and changed so much. I'm not saying I'm against MJ, I can't do it myself, because I'm military. But it irks me in a way, as it's possible that she is not sober around our child. I question it, and sure enough, she admits she's smoking MJ. At the time she told me it was a one-time thing and she won't do it again. So, with that being said, I questioned myself, what else is she hiding from me? I started looking at text logs online. We share a phone plan. I see one number stick out more than the rest. More frequent per se. I get curious and call it. A guy answers. I immediately hang up. That got me feeling angry, disappointed and in disbelief. I thought about it for a while, a day or two. I finally get the courage to ask her about the number. This is all over the phone, by the way. I'm still deployed during this time. So I call her and ask, "Who is this number?" And I proceeded to recite the number to her. Right away she tells me it's her friend. Why? I say. Just a friend? Because this number comes up a lot. More than it should have, at all times throughout the day and night. And is your friend a guy? She asked, can she read what the text say? I said maybe, but eventually I said no. Anyways, she gets mad right away of me accusing her of cheating, says some things and quickly hangs up. Okay. I check my email right after. We usually email to text each other. A few minutes later she's telling me it's her friend, let's call her Martha, and that she is the one texting this number and not to worry. She said she can block the number if I like. I said yeah, block it. So Martha is her friend that she grew up with and knew from her country. Flew to our house to help take care of our son while she works. Yes, she works a part-time job at a restaurant. This is the first deployment I have been on where she actually had a job. In all honesty, I was skeptical and a little worried at first because she never really was exposed to the real world, I guess you can say, as far as having a job and being independent. This was a chance for her to do things on her own and feel good about it. Granted, she only made a little money, but it made her feel good that she was helping to provide, and I get that. However, ever since we were married, she had always been a stay-at-home mom or housewife, which I was perfectly okay with. We never struggled with finances, this was simply her wanting to do something with her time, and earn money while our son was in school about 4 times a week. With that being said, she had started her first job about a few weeks before I deployed as a caretaker. She took care of this older paraplegic guy who was bedridden. That was out of a house which was a few blocks down from where we live. In that house was the owner of the house, an actual nurse, and a roommate, male. Tall, tattoos, rides a motorcycle, drives a cool car, etc. I dropped her off a few times at this house, and I already had a weary feeling after seeing that other roommate. But nonetheless I trusted my wife and continued on. So I leave for deployment. It's about 2 months in, And she tells me she started working at a restaurant she likes better than the caretaker gig. I'm like, okay, cool, so she ends up quitting the first job and continues on at the restaurant. Okay, so go back to where I said Martha came to help, and when I originally accused her of talking with this guy, she blamed Martha. Well, I checked the logs again, and the text messages started just 1 week after I left for deployment. Martha didn't come until a month after I left. So she was basically texting this person before Martha was even there, but yet she tried to blame her. I kept this information to myself because I wanted to confront her about it in person, and was curious on what she had to say about it. I had an uneasy feeling the entire time up until the point where she actually told me. Then all the accusations I had came true. First thing she said to me was, I was living a double life, and that she broke into someone's home. Apparently her and her boyfriend got into a fight and she ended it with him, wanting to take all of her stuff back that was at his house, so she broke in and took what was hers, while also damaging his motorcycle in the fight. She hit him, he hit back. She got bruises on her face and arms because of it. She took all the blame because she initiated it all. When she was breaking in to get her stuff, she got caught, boyfriend got mad, wanted to accuse her of stealing, thus threatening to get the cops involved. Also said that he would blackmail her and tell me, the husband, everything. So it was that day where she ended up telling me, which I believe she didn't have a choice because I would find out anyways. So now, this guy is blowing my wife's phone up and knocking on our door late at night, asking to talk about it or whatever the case. She refuses to open the door, so I'm guessing he left. I'm not sure what this guy is capable of, so I told her to go see a lawyer about it and see what her options are. She gets with this lawyer, and for a flat fee he charged $2,500 for a restraining order against this guy. Also includes his representation at the trial in the future to determine a status of it. Also to see if she owes anything to him for the damage for the bike. Guess who paid for that? Me. And I only paid because I wanted her and my son safe. Most of her excuses are she told me she was going there to his place to smoke MJ and have a good time. It was her escape from feeling depressed, etc. Started as friends, he kissed her after a few months of hanging out. She didn't stop. They initiated sex, unprotected, she said no, not without protection, got flustered and left. That was the first encounter. The second time was another few weeks later, and this time with protection. And the third time another 3 weeks also with protection. I had her get tested, results are negative. What hurts me the most is she went back for more. She had so many opportunities to stop, but she kept going. Also, remember when I mentioned for her to block the number? Well, she did. I didn't see it come up in the text logs after that, but she continued to talk with him via Snapchat. I ask her where our son is every time you go over there. She says at school or the babysitter. Sometimes she keeps him overnight too. After all this was said and done, I asked her, when were you planning on telling me? She said when I returned home from deployment. I really don't know what to do at this point. Right now we are still talking. I can't ignore her, because I still want updates on my son and their life in general. I feel like she threw our life away. I gave her everything she wanted, but she never asked for much. She claims to still love me and she's truly sorry, etc. But trust is definitely gone, and what's to say she won't do it again. Cried myself to sleep some nights thinking about the whole thing. Also, what kind of situation will she be in if I follow through with the divorce? She has no family here in the States. She has a few friends, but none of which I believe will let her leave at their place. She is not a U.S. citizen, and I'm not sure how long she can keep her green card/permanent resident status if she's no longer married to me. I truly feel bad for her despite what she has done. She really is a good person and got carried away, way too far. I can forgive her as a person, but I will never forget what she did, nor will the feelings ever be the same. First thing I think of when I wake up in the morning is her screwing the other dude. I get the worst gut wrench every day because of it. I haven't told my family, yet. I wanted to deal with it all when I get back from deployment in a few months. I appreciate it if you listen this far. I know it's a lot, but I will take any advice that you might have. Thank you in advance. TL, DR. Wife cheated on me while I am deployed. Smoked MJ with her boyfriend. Got into a fight, broke into his house, and damaged his motorcycle. Got accused of stealing his stuff, but it was her stuff. Currently has a restraining order against him. I paid $2,500 for it to keep her and my 4-year-old son safe. Trial is in a few weeks. Deployed soldier, 28 male, with my wife, 23 female, of 2 years, cheated on me engaging in three-way. I'm a soldier deployed to Afghanistan. I have been gone 3 months. My wife visited me at my pre-mobilization post after a month and a half. She was on the phone constantly with her friend and her friend's fiancé back home during the whole visit. I wasn't worried about it. I hardly noticed until she started getting really protective of her phone. I don't like snooping through people's correspondence, but her newfound protectiveness inspired curiosity. While she was using the shower, I looked through her texts and found out that she had 1 or more sexual encounters with her friend, female, and her friend's fiancé, male. I didn't say anything because she had previously disclosed the encounter was just a single, drunken kiss, and was an isolated incident. Also, I was really excited that she came to visit me and didn't want to ruin the rest of our short time together before I flew overseas. This morning, I confronted her about it over the phone. She hesitated but ultimately disclosed the full encounter, explaining how it escalated from casual touching to a three-way. She emphasized that she did not have carnal knowledge, penile vaginal penetration, with the male, but received oral stimulation from her friend, female, while her friend was engaging in intercourse with the fiancé, male. Previously, my wife had asked permission to engage in this sort of act with these 2 friends of hers. She also expressed interest in 4-way interactions once I returned home. I refused, explaining that I saw it as infidelity and that it would hurt our relationship. Come to find out, she was asking permission after having already engaged in the act. We have known each other for 8 years and have been married for 2 years. I loved my wife, but she only confessed after I had caught her. Her story also has some inconsistencies, making me think that I still don't have the full truth. She says she is profoundly sorry and that the encounter was an isolated event. Her friend, female, realized that she is sexually intimidated by my wife and is insecure about her own relationship due to the event. My wife and her friend allegedly agreed to have no further encounters prior to me finding out. She wants to stay married and has said numerous times that she loves me. Edit. I think it's important to point out that my wife is a career woman with a master's degree. She isn't a homemaker/dependopotamus. She doesn't need my benefits or my paycheck. Hell, she comes from a wealthy family. Reddit. What do I do? TL, DR. Wife cheated with her female friend and the friend's guy. Can marriage survive infidelity and deception?